Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this webinar on TMX sales and distribution. My name is Salman Akhtar, and I'm the CEO of Techlogix Mobility and Techlogix, and we will be going through our product and our solution offering for the sales and distribution vertical. We will have an opportunity for questions and answers. So if you do have any questions, please add them into the chat through the Q&A. And please add your name so that we can then respond and answer your questions. Okay, so let's get started. So TMX is really fundamentally about a new way of doing business. And in this new way of doing business, we're talking about real-time data access. So real-time visibility of customer orders, deliveries, and payments. We're talking about real-time field force visibility and optimization. So doing things like designing the personal journey plans of your field agents, tracking their location, sales allocation, measurement, and optimization of your field force. Improved on-site order placement. So by giving your field agents the tools and applications so that they can automate the customer and product selection, automate the promotions and application of those promotions, and make sure that you're placing accurate orders on site. Real-time data analytics and reporting. Everything that's happening is being tracked in real time on the cloud, and all this data is being reflected on a dashboard that's visible to you, and I'll show you what the dashboard looks like. And finally, service quality improvement. Because your customer touch points are constantly being monitored, because you have improved accuracy of available inventory and reduced billing costs, you're really able to make sure that the quality of service that you deliver is improved. And you're also able, through the customer survey function, to go back and keep on questioning and understanding what your customers think about the service that you're providing or how you could improve them. Okay, so all of these together represent a way for you to improve the way you're already doing your business. So at a high level, what we're trying to do is, of course, to manage the secondary sales chain. And this has three parts which operate at three different locations. So at the shop, at the point of order entry, you have the field agent that is placing the order, subsequently doing delivery. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's another person, and collecting money. Okay. Then in the region, you have the distributor. You may be the distributor that's actually responsible for going out and managing the sales across many, many retailers in one particular geography or multiple cities. And then you have the principal, which is just looking at this data coming in from multiple distributors and aggregating this data. Or alternatively, if you're a large distributor, you're operating across multiple cities and multiple branches in each city and aggregating this data at the national level or the regional level. Okay. So the first thing, of course, is the agent app. This is the application that the field agent carries with him. The key features of the agent app are sales order management. So that's the very first thing. That means booking orders, accepting market returns, providing replacements. Then trade offers and promotions. We have a very extensive trade offers and promotions feature. There are many, many different kinds of trade offers and promos you could do. So you could do FOC, you could do bundled, slab-wise, claimable, unclaimable. You can bundle these together so you can add them together. So there's more than 100 kinds of variants of trade offers that you can generate through our system. Inventory management. So whether this is the inventory at the branch level or at a warehouse level, so you can issue stock, you can return stock, you can do adjustments, maintain the stock register. Okay. And then finally, invoices and collections. So you can generate the invoice for the shopkeeper or whoever the person is that's placing the order for you. You can issue credit notes, debit notes, and you can accept checks and collect cash And so you can settle off against the monies that you're receiving against the deliveries that you performed. Underlying all of this is a set of features that improve the efficiency of operations of the field agents. So first of all, agent location tracking. So the agent's location is being tracked. You can geofence, you can geotrack, you can measure the average productive time that the agent is spending. So you can, for example, code that orders can only be placed at the customer location within a certain geofence. Okay. You can geotag your customers also. So the application has the capability that you can go back, and if you have a large customer set, you may or may not have accurate GPS coordinates for them. So you can, as a separate process, go out and geotag all of your customers. So look, tag all of their locations. In some geographies, we can do reverse geocoding. And in the customer geotagging, we support photo capture also. So you can really validate as a process that the location that's been captured, the physical location and the geolocation, these match up and are in fact correctly represented in your retail universe. A third feature are journey plans. And we can have journey plans for sales, journey plans for delivery, and journey plans for merchandisers who are going in and doing surveys or doing the merchandising for you. So you can create these separate journey plans for all of them. And all of these journey plans, you have a lot of flexibility. You can set up daily journey plans, weekly journey plans, etc. And finally, all of this data is being reported in analytics and dashboards. So there's dashboards that operate at the supervisor level, the person that's actually managing the field agents, at the distributor manager level, and at the principal user level. I just mentioned the survey feature of the application. So TMX allows users to define surveys on the fly to capture market response. So in the TMX portal, you can say, okay, I want to ask these 4 questions. This is how these are the responses to the questions, and you can push out that survey to your field agents. The surveys can be used for doing many different things. So they can be used for capturing competitor info, customer complaints, quality checks, performing work with kind of scenarios. So all of these scenarios are available to you. And you can control whether completing the survey is an optional thing for the field agent or a required mandatory thing before he can place an order. So again, a lot of flexibility in controlling how you're able to get the pulse of the market. At the portal, the supervisor of the field agents uses this kind of dashboard to manage their agents. So they're able to see in real time the end-to-end visibility of the field agent location. They can see kind of their performance, how many planned visits do they have, how many productive visits have they had so far today, how many non-productive visits do they have. They can also have access to their sales performance and manage the sales performance of the agent in real time. The key idea is that all transactions within TMX are geotagged, they're aggregated and analyzed across multiple dimensions, so across products, across locations, across agents. If you're a distributor, support multiple principals across each principal separately, etc., etc. So this gives you a lot of flexibility in your analytics to really understand what's going on in your business. Some of the advanced features in TMX-SD include the retailer app, route optimization, claim management, merchandising, order deliveries, and handling sub-distributors. Okay, so let me walk you through some of these advanced features. So the retailer app is something that allows you to digitize your existing retail universe. It's an app that's available to the retailer. You can give it to the retailer. It's white labeled, so for the retailer, it'll look like your app, okay? And it allows the retailer to place orders directly with you. You can use this really for two totally different purposes. One is for direct order placement. You can also use it to increase engagement and loyalty. So you can, for example, push promotions and trade offers directly into the app. so that the retailer can see, oh, there's an offer here, buy 4, get 1 free. And against that offer, they can just directly click on it, on that, and that will directly place that order. Okay, so that's a way that you can remain in touch with your retailers. And of course, to the extent that retailers are placing orders electronically, that reduces your expense and increases your revenue. Route optimization is a key feature. So this is a really thing that you can do at multiple levels. So at the global level, you can set up your frequency and distance range at multiple levels. So it's sales channel via geography, role-based around particular actions and events. Okay. At an individual configuration level, you can look at the delivery PJP and the sales PJP. Okay. And the individual configuration can override the global configuration. Okay. And then you can also do on-field optimization. So you can actually, Google Directions API is integrated into the application. So if there is something that happens in real time, traffic jam or something, you can redirect using the Google Directions API. Okay, and all of this is integrated inside the application, so that your field agent doesn't really have to go somewhere else, go into Google Maps or look somewhere else. It's all integrated. The application knows where you are, where are you headed, so it directly takes out the Google Directions API and collects the information, relevant information from them. This also gives you the ability to vary from predefined configurations. So you may have already put in a particular route, from point A to point B. This is how you have to go because this is my optimized route. But through the Google Directions API and real-time traffic updates, you can actually address things like road closures, on-field challenges, accident, or something like that may have happened. So this is showing you the route optimization in work. You can see that on the left side, you can see there's real-time guided navigation. So this is that field agent app. They're able to see where they have to go and the order in which they have to go. Okay. And at the head office or the branch office, wherever the field agent is reporting to, you can monitor in real time the route that they've actually taken, where have they gone, where are they going, et cetera, et cetera. So that gives you very, very clear visibility into what's happening in real time. And if something is a field situation is developing in real time, you can also use that to communicate with your agents to inform them proactively that they need to make some adjustments or changes. Another advanced feature of the TMX platform is claim management. So this is specifically when you're using sub-distributors. So you can actually allow them to put in claims for damages. They can put in claims for having achieved sales targets. They can put in claims for off-invoice items, on-invoice items. So we have a complete claim management module, which lets you if you have an extended sub-distribution setup and hierarchy, you can really manage all of the claims through TMX. This is one example of the claim approval workflow. This is completely configurable. You can set it up however you want to work. So this shows how the claim approval process will work. And you can set it up so that based upon certain conditions, if the claim is above a certain amount, it needs 2 levels of approval. If it's below a certain amount, maybe the branch office can approve that, etc. So all of these workflows are transparently visible to you. This is from within the portal app itself, where the workflow is visible to you, and you can change it as you see fit over time. Of course, we know that sales distribution systems like this need to work with ERPs. We are pre-integrated with Oracle EBS, with SAP, and with Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, so what kinds of things do we do? First of all, we can pick all the PJP users from the ERP. So for example, your field agents may actually be defined within the ERP. So we can retrieve them from there. Okay, for stock issuance, we can retrieve gate passes from your ERP. Okay. Orders are pushed back into the ERP, so you can synchronize orders and stock-related transactions back to the ERP. And we can create and update customers in the ERP in real time from TMX. So for example, if you've added a customer in your retail universe within TMX, you can push that customer back into the ERP. and create that customer. Another key feature that we've developed over the past couple of years is the use of machine learning and AI. Okay, so what do we do with this? There's three things that we do. First of all, we can do order suggestions. So TMX can suggest to the field agent what should be the order for a particular shop based on their past ordering trend and the frequency with which they've been placing orders. The second thing is you can set up and TMX will highlight must-sell SKUs. Okay, so this is based upon the system's understanding of what are high demand SKUs. So you can highlight them to order bookers saying, these are things that you must sell because we know they're highly in demand. Okay, and then the third thing is suggested quantity. Okay, so we can also suggest automatically what is the usual quantity that's relevant for this particular customer. Okay, all of this really serves to accelerate and improve the efficiency of your field agent. Of course, any suggestions or suggested quantities can be overridden by the field agent, but it just makes their life simpler and they can operate faster. Okay, so here's an example where you're showing a must sell. Okay, so it's telling you here's a must sell amount. Okay, and here's an example of a suggested SKU. You can see I'd selected the must sell, so it said, okay, this was my must sell item. I can have a suggested SKU, which is just guiding the field agent that based on this customer's history, this is an SKU that you should be able to sell to this particular customer. I talked about the dashboards and the analytical capability in the software. So there's a number of dashboards that are available. First of all, booking versus execution. So how many orders were booked? How many have been executed? Customer productivity. In your journey plans, how many customers are actually productive and you're placing orders and orders above a certain threshold? Field agent supervision, where are your field agents? Have they done their start of day? Have they done their end of day? Where are they at? Which shops have they visited? And then, of course, most importantly, sales target. So, what are your sales target? What is the anticipated achievement against these sales targets? So here's an example of a sales dashboard. This is showing you a number of KPIs. So it's showing you the sales by customer channel, the total net sales by status, by product, by location. All of this uses Microsoft Power BI. It's fully integrated inside the software. You don't have to buy or license anything else that's new. Okay, it's delivered as part of the solution. And you can do drill down, so you can look at all of this data by product, by location hierarchy. So for example, North region or some other branch within the Lahore region, whatever. And if you're, for example, a principal, you can select distributors. If you're a distributor and you have sub-distributors, you can drill down by sub-distributor. Okay, so a lot of flexibility in really understanding your sales. This is around sales targets and performance. So, once you've set up targets for all of your sales agents, you can see how their performance has been. What is the performance on brand-wise, by salesperson, by distributor, and again, you can drill down across product, brand, salesperson, etc. So a lot of flexibility again in trying to understand your performance. Okay, this is kind of a monitoring room concept that's part of TMX. So this is just something that you can just put up on a screen and it's just monitoring in real time. What are my stats for today? Okay, so where did I start? What are my end day stats? How many orders have I placed? What is the total number of orders placed today? So in real time, this is getting updated. It's doing a comparison against your previous period. So up 13% against yesterday, for example, or against a week, the same day a week before. All of this is configurable. You can decide how you want to report this. How many returns did you have, etc. Across all of our dashboards, there's more than 200 plus KPIs that are available for you to analyze your performance. Okay, the software itself is delivered on the cloud, so no need to buy any hardware, no need to buy any technology licenses. It's all included in our software as a service model. Okay, there's a subscription cost. Okay, so you can basically go in and use the software, you pay for as much use as you have, okay? Your running costs are minimized because you don't have to pay for any hardware or the data center or anything. You have automatic upgrades, so about 5 or 6 times a year, we automatically upgrade the software for you. And you can do variable load management. So for example, during peak times, maybe during Ramadan or Eid or something like that, where you're expecting a high load, so you can actually, the cloud will auto scale during these times to make sure that you have smooth performance. Again, that's a capability that the cloud gives you. And of course, aside from all of this, you've got things like automatic backups of your data every hour, disaster recovery, redundancy. So all of those capabilities are also delivered to you as part of the base product. Okay, so just to summarize, the key features of the product are, from an administration perspective, to improve your efficiency. From a finance perspective, to improve the efficiency with which you collect money. For agents, quick completion of tasks. And for executive management, a 360-degree view of the entire business. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. And I'm going to stop my slide share now.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr. Salman, for that. And thanks everyone for joining. So this is Mohamed Majid. I'm an applications and infrastructure specialist with Microsoft, Middle East and Africa. And for the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through briefly how combining TMX to Microsoft Azure as a platform would give you like your business the most value, flexibility and agility, as Mr. Salman had mentioned. So let me first walk you through the main like hosting models that we have. So as you may be aware already that traditionally when you host any of your applications or platforms, so if you're managing on a data center, on your data center locally, so you and your team would be most probably managing all of the layers from the servers itself, the networking, configuring everything till the operating system patching, runtimes, and definitely the application. Nevertheless, we regardless of like acquiring new hardware in case you want to scale for seasonalities and for example for Ramadan and Eid and so on, as Mr. Salman was referring to. So if you go a further step to the cloud as infrastructure as a service, so here we're basically talking as on virtual machines where the cloud vendor, as Microsoft, would be managing the virtual machine from the storage, the network. You don't need your IT teams to take care of any like administrative hassle and like to be focused on what really matters to your business. If we go further on a platform as a service model, which is really where like TMX is based on. So Microsoft would be managing all of the underlying layers from the servers itself, the operating system, like the patches, the automated backups, and so on. And the good thing about that, everything would be built in. So you make sure that your solution or your like TMX is available. It's backed up by SLAs. You have already your data backed up automatically and so on. And if we go further as a TMX solution, so when you go like for or get this solution from Techlogix, you're getting this as if you're getting a software as a service. So it's a plug and play. You don't need to take care of anything. You have a software that is ready to be used, and this really will give you like a lot of value in terms of time to market and in terms of like your customer satisfaction as well. Moving to the main advantages of Microsoft Azure. So as you know that Azure provides like the most or the largest footprint across the globe. And the good thing about it that you can host your like application to any location. You have the flexibility to choose any location that would be closest to your users. So, and what's good about the good thing about this is you make sure that you provide your customers or users with the best performance. So you minimize the latency, you make sure that everything is in place within to cover your branches and so on. So you can definitely, if your users, you have a different across different regions, so you can have some instance of your application within the US region, you have another one within Europe, or even within African countries, UAE, and also with the newly data center that was announced that would be like launched or live in very few months within Qatar as well. So, and the good thing about this, like hundreds of data centers, that the disaster recovery and the SLAs are in place already, and you make sure that you have like the maximum availability and performance to your customers and users. If we go, of course, when you mention cloud, the first thing that gets into your mind would be the security. So Azure is considered to be one of the most trusted and compliant clouds, if not the most, because Microsoft offers the largest portfolio of compliance certificates, whether those certificates are global ones like the ISO, the SOC 1 and 2, even for industry based certificates as well, or regional based solutions, certificates. So, and this really would give you the confidence that the platform that you're hosting your TMX solution on is already compliant, is with the standards. You make sure that you have your data, everything is secured and encrypted, and everything in place. If we go and talk about why Azure App Service. So Azure App Service is the platform as a service solution which TMX is based on. This would be really for main three pillars or advantages. First is the availability. So of course you don't need like your users to experience any disruptions, any performance issues if they're connecting to their TMX software. So for a platform as a service, you have SLA backed up uptimes. You make sure that at least you will be getting a 99.95% of availability to your application. Another one which is really matters in the sales and distribution would be the scalability, because scalability could be a hassle when you're managing your data center or your servers locally, and you need, for example, at any point in time to add more resources and more like CPU and more RAM. So this comes with a lot of time because you need to configure more servers, you need to acquire or purchase more servers. So, and this would cost you like you and your team more time. And of course, having like underutilized servers, so you can, for example, project growth during seasons and get more or acquire more servers that are not in use. So the power of the cloud that you can auto scale based on specific triggers, like whenever the CPU utilization reaches certain percent, like 80%, to spin up and create multiple instances in minutes. And at the same time, when this load is not there, or the load is minimized, automatically it will like delete those instances and get back to the original specifications. So really, from the time perspective and from the cost perspective, this really will matter. Of course, from the security perspective as well, encryption would be in place. You can add your TLS or SSL certificates to your applications. You can configure certain network restrictions to make sure that if you want to restrict any traffic from certain IPs, from any risky locations and so on, you can definitely do so and have the complete control over that perspective as well. As you know, we have, or Microsoft is offering something called Azure Marketplace. So it's basically our marketplace of thousands of ready-made images, of ready-made solutions, whether those solutions are Microsoft-based or third-party solutions. So, and the good thing about it that this would give you like more details about the solution itself. It provides you what by if we can say that it provides you with a very easy to use ready-made images that could be deployed right away to Microsoft Azure. And why I'm mentioning this point because TMX already is on Azure Marketplace, of course, and the main highlight that I want to show you here, it's this one. You can see here that TMX is a preferred solution, and by a preferred solution, we mean that it was Microsoft teams were engaged closely with Techlogix and with the TMX team to make sure that everything from the architecture, from the resources that are in place are based on the best practices. So this would give you the confidence that the partnership between TMX and Techlogix as the organization and Microsoft are very close, and that this was looked into by both organization architects and made sure that everything, whether from the security perspective, from the architecture perspective, is based on like the best practices. So this was a quick walkthrough about how this combination between TMX and Azure would give you like the most productivity, security, and would add value to your business. So thank you so much, and please let us know if you have any questions, and if not, over to you, Arsalan.
Thank you, Majid and Salman, for such detailed overview of the product and the Azure. I'll start by giving a brief overview of what is Techlogix is. So we are in business for more than 20 years now. We have the offices in US and Middle East and in Pakistan. We are the partners of Microsoft, the gold partners, and we have more than 200 plus customers that we are currently serving across the globe. The TLX mobility is something that we perceived and then came into existence into around 5 years back. And this is not just that with this 5 years old company, we have the experience of working in the sales and distribution and supply chain domain for more than 15 plus years for the primary work that we used to do for our US customers. The primary reason for segregating it so that we could put a focused effort on this particular domain rather than providing services. Currently, we have around 65 persons team who are doing the active product development, sales and the support for this particular sales and distribution product that we have. Definitely, we have headquarters in US, and then we have our regional offices in Dubai. These are the brief view of our current customers who are using the TMX sales and distribution in different capacity. So as Salman was explaining, the Unilever is more focused of using our claim management module. Nokia is using the pure sales and distribution cycle along with the retailers application in more than 6 countries now. Then Kershi is using it purely for the order booking cycle. And then we have a good customer base in the beverages industry as well, where all the major distribution centers of the Pepsi are using this TMX sales and distribution application, not only for order booking and spot selling, but also for doing the merchandising and capturing the customer complaints, capturing the surveys from the market, gaining insights of the competitors, and then sales and distribution application provides the insights that, okay, which promotion, which particular marketing material needs to be placed at which particular area, for which we have the complete module, or we call a market visit module, that covers all these scenarios. What I'll cover is that we got the Best Startup Award as well, recognized for our services that we provide in Pakistan in 2019. So we have been recognized by the biggest institute of the country as the Best Startup in Retail and Distribution in 2019. So we do have that. Then the brief overview about the 4 pillars that we have in our sales and distribution. That whole application is built with the mobility in mind, that we could enable our not only the field force but all the users that are part of this workflow with the mobile applications. Cloud, as Majid explained, to ensure that we could scale up and scale down as it requires. Portal for not only doing the back office work, but also to ensure that all that information which is collected is present in a single location, can be managed easily, and then analytics to build the KPIs over it. I'll just give a brief flavor of the actual dashboards and KPIs as well as I move along. So the whole solution depends on the mobility part, that you just need a simple Android-based device or an iOS-based device that could have a simple 3G or 4G connection. That is all you need to run the TMX sales and distribution solution. What you could achieve apart from the pure technical features is you could track and monitor the routes of the field agents. You could optimize those. You can set the performance parameters and incentives based on their performance in the actual field. You could define the expense tracking with them, and that expense tracking is intelligent enough that using the receipts that have a good tax defined over it, we just fetch that information and generate the auto receipts from the pictures of the physical receipts. And as I was explaining, that we have market surveys and competitors information module as well, that provides insights to both principals and distributors, that how they can increase their outreach in the market, how they can increase the footprint. So what's next? All the core features that you guys have already reviewed, all the things that we have done. So what we are doing, or what we are currently started rolling out into the market, is the retailer application. So the few key aspects of the retailer application is that your order booker or the vendor does not have to visit the shop to capture the order. Rather, the retail shop already have the application and they can place an order from anywhere at any particular time. They can get the first-hand information of the promotions provided by the principals, so that you do not have to worry about the typical 7 steps of the calls. Then you can build multiple additional customer engagement elements on top of it to ensure that your loyal customers will keep engaged and keep generating sales for you. And for that, we have a loyalty points module integrated within the retailer application, so that on a purchase of a certain minimum amount or a minimum quantity of an item, they get their points accumulated, and then those points can be used redeemed for gaining additional discounts or additional promotional materials based on their performance. Okay. It's a totally white labeled app, so it does not have to be the TMX-SD what they will be running. Rather, they will be running the actual application of the retailer or the distributor or that retailer will be using. So as I've shown in an example, like one of the key distributors of Nestle has white labeled the application and called it Burf Raftar. The application already have the capability to support multiple languages. So we do have the English, Arabic, and Urdu supported currently, and it can support other languages as well. It do have the capability of informing the retailers that okay, where exactly their current delivery is, where they could look at it, when they will get the actual items on it. So this is what we are looking at, the next big thing that we have rolled out for our few customers and in process for doing it for the rest of the customers, so that the pull model could be changed into the push model. I'll just brief up so that we have enough times for your questions. So these are our international implementations where we have the two customers as our showcase customer. The one is the largest distributor of Nestle in Tanzania and Pakistan, and then we have the Nokia, who is currently using the whole application in more than 6 countries, as the country has recently been added. Then quickly moving to these case studies, that as I told you that Nokia is using the end-to-end customer journey. So it starts from the primarily IMAI based tracking, then doing the order booking, promoters mobile application is over there as well, retailer application they use for scanning it, and then reporting to generates that okay, which IMAI has been actually activated and which is in currently progress. Nokia started our journey back in 2016 in Pakistan and then expanded to 6 countries live now. The 7th country is in progress. We have end-to-end digitization for them as well. And then we have done multiple third-party integrations for Nokia as well. For Bug, the path is similar, that they started the journey with us back in 2015, even earlier than Nokia. What they get out of it is that real-time tracking, customized enhancements that we did for them as well. Then they initially started with the Oracle EBS suite and then recently implemented SAP. So we have migrated them to SAP integrations as well. They have more than 800 order bookers, and now they have recently rolled out the TMX to their delivery persons as well. So that takes the total sales agents counts to around 1,500. They are the primary distributors of that in Pakistan, and then for others principals as well, they are using the TMX-SD in its full flow. A brief testimonial from the CEO of PERC. Quick summary, and then I'll jump to the quick demo of the application of the dashboards, and then we could move to the actual Q&A session. Just give me a minute so that I could share my screen for the demonstration part, and then we could move to the Q&A part. Okay, so here are the real dashboards that you could see that I've opened. Customer-wise variance dashboard is telling me that okay, what particular order has been captured at which particular location and how much deviation has been encountered over there. As we were explaining that we have the detailed drill down and drill up functionalities available in these dashboards, so one could go at the location level to further blow to the territory level as well. We have filters available in terms of the data hierarchy, in terms of the location hierarchy that we have. And then we have the live monitoring dashboard as well, as Salman was explaining, that it gets updated in real-time basis, that okay, what was the current status? You could compare it with the other values. You could have the details of these stats as well, that okay, which particular user accessed it, when it accessed it. And similarly, you have the multiple pages with respect to the various dashboards, like you could view that location-wise variance, your variance with respect to user, with respect to sales channel, time-based trends you could view at it. And another key point is that this whole application is process-centric. So you have all these flows defined in the form of processes, like a typical process flow that I'm currently showing on my screen, that you have a draft sales order, then it gets booked, then it has the partial and full delivery options available, and then it gets fulfilled even at the last location as well. And then you have multiple options available into the applications. You could have deliveries, replacements, acquisitions. You could define multiple types of trade offers and promotions. To achieve that, you have a small counting module over there as well. You could have the targets defined with respect to the system also that you could manage, and then based on that you could generate your reports for those, that okay, what are those targets, what are those KPIs that you use for them. So I will stop here, and then we could take up the queries that we have, as we have last 8 minutes, I believe. So I'm going in the reverse order. So the first question is how to plan to leverage AI and MLs for customers sitting on tons of data to improve business efficiency. So as I was explaining, we have already introduced a couple of elements of AI and ML. From the AI perspective, we are currently doing the optical character recognition, OCR, for extracting the data from the expense receipts and generating those automatically. We are applying those similarly for the handwritten orders as well, that we could do that. From the machine learning perspective, we have done two things for now, and we are in the process of bringing more predictive analytics. The two things that we did till now is the prediction of the must-sell SKUs and the top 10 SKUs based on the seasonality, based on the customer trend. And for that, we are telling that, okay, these will be your top 10 SKUs for the next month, and then for the next quarter as well. That's what we are predicting for that. And we have few more hidden balls, you could say, in our basket that we will reveal as we move along in the future for this with respect to AI and ML. With respect to the TMX pricing model, definitely you can get in touch with our sales team. They can give you more details, but it's a pure SaaS-based product. So we heavily rely on the SaaS-based pricing, software as a service-based pricing. We have the subscription cost based on the size of the distribution that you have, but you can get more details from our sales team. They can guide you more on that. Then we have a question like how much time it takes to implement TMX software. So that's an interesting question because it totally depends upon the readiness of the data at the customer's end or the tenant end. We have few examples that I could quote, that the fastest implementation we did in past, that was in 3 weeks time. That has around 25 field agents of that particular tenant, and in 3 weeks they were live. They start using that, they start using it. And then for few large tenants, we do have the implementation time of 2 to 3 months also. Okay, then the question is how is suggested quantity calculated? So we have a algorithm defined based on which we can tweak the formulas, statistical formulas as well, and then it do have certain element of ML integrated as well based on the selling trend or the buying trend of that particular retail shop, based on which we suggest the quantity for that particular retailer specific to that as well. Can this software be used for exporting business? I'm not very much familiar what you were referring to when you say exporting business, But what actually TMX-SD covers is the complete end-to-end cycle from the retailers to the distributors to the principals and vice versa as well. That okay, some tenants are using it from the distributor to the retailer, and some are using it from the distributor to the principal end. Some have introduced the stakeholders in the form of wholesalers as well. So you in those particular transactions, you could inject it and use it based on the transaction that you have. Okay, I saw one more question is how complex bundling promotions can be handled. Can you share the most complex case? So that's a very good question. So what we did at the trade offer or the promotion engine, that we have added a rule engine, if you were familiar with that, or you could say we have identified certain attributes based on which trade offers have been applied. And then we have provided expressions using which you could create any sort of combination of these attributes. Like, okay, if I have 6 different types of SKUs with 6 different flavors, if I give you the example of the beverages industry, so if I have the 250 ml bottle that has flavor of Mirinda, Coca-Cola, or 7-Up, I could do any sort of complex combination on it and can generate any sort of output. Based on that, it could be the value-based discount, it could be the free of cost discount, it could be the percentage-based discount that we want to apply to that. This is just an example. This cannot be the most complex example because the complexity will definitely depends upon the SKUs and the scenarios that you have. And we have a lot of flexibility in our trade offers promotion engine that it can accommodate any new combinations as well. Can we define promotions at customer level? Yes, you definitely can define promotions at customer level because the intention or the engagement level from the customer so that they are placing the order from the retailer app will be much different as what you are offering through the field agent app. So in order to encourage customers that they should make more orders through the application so that you can avoid the physical visits, there is an option in the application that you say that, okay, only particular customer will have this particular promotion, or these are the promotions that can be visible only at the retailer application level and not at the field agent level. So that can be done. Okay, can you share details about integration with existing systems, be it attendance software, ERP, or warehousing system? So as I shared that we have multiple integrations that we have done in place, and a whole system is designed based on the open API concept. So both integrations that we could consume and the other systems can also consume the APIs from the TMX to interchange the data. What we have done till now is definitely the 3 core ERP system, Microsoft Dynamics, SAP for HANA, and the Oracle e-business suite. These are the 3 core ERPs that we have integrated with. Then we have integrated with the custom applications as well. With respect to the interchange of the purchase orders and the trade offers for them. We do have the attendance-based integrations as well for one of our customers, and we provide data to them. Then we have integrations with the Google Maps and the route planning software as well, a few of those. So in essence, we have the open APIs that could be consumed by any application, and we have the flexible engine at our end that could consume any other interface as well, whether it's an API, whether it's a database, or whether it's some file base. So we support all 3 channels for doing these integrations.
I think, Aslan, we've reached the end of the hour also. So we'd like to thank all of the attendees for joining us. And Hidayat, if you could please share your contact details. Hidayat is part of our sales team. So if you could please share your contact details so that anybody that wants to get in touch with the sales team knows how to get in touch with you. So I can see Hidayat has posted his email on the Q&A. And for just for reference, it's just hidayat.ali@techlogix.com. Okay, Hidayat is based out of Dubai, so you can reach out to him and he can address any questions and queries in the Middle East region. And also, if somebody's listening in from Pakistan, they can send an email to him, and Hidayat will route it to the appropriate, correct person within Techlogix and TLX Mobility. So with that, thank you very much. Appreciate all of you joining us, and hopefully we'll be in touch with you and you'll be in touch with us to learn more about TMX-SD.